The Women's Flyweight Championship is on the line at UFC 315 in Montreal, Canada. Valentina Shevchenko defends her belt against rising kickboxer Manon Fiorot. I'm going to go deep into the fighting stats. I'll tell you what all the numbers say, and then I'll give you my prediction on how I think the fight's going to go. And then ultimately, I'll give you my prediction on who I think is going to win and how. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Welcome to Fighting Stats, the ultimate channel for UFC fans who love statistics and betting breakdowns. I'm your host, Art C, and today I'll be getting you ready for the upcoming UFC fights. Here at Fighting Stats, we have exclusive UFC stats, not available anywhere else, giving us a huge edge over the sportsbooks that help us make money long term. Here at Fighting Stats, we also track how often they throw that left jab or that right hook from southpaw, how often they're moving back, or how much time is spent in side control versus full mount. We have all of that information, but that's not it. We pair that with our tape study here. We're going to go through the fights. We're going to watch for fighters' strengths, weaknesses, tendencies, and overall strategies to help you get prepared for the upcoming UFC fights. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome to Fighting Stats. Welcome back to Fighting Stats. I'm your host, Art C, and today we are breaking down the UFC 315 co-main event between champion Valentina Shevchenko and rising French kickboxer Manon Fiorot. Remember that this fight is going down in Montreal, Canada. I'll be there live in attendance, so I'll be cheering for this one. This one actually has me pretty interested because the line is very close, and I do like a side quite a bit here. So let's get into it. What I'll do is first I'll go over our Fighting Stats, tailor the tape. I'll go deep into the numbers. I'll tell you what the numbers say, who has the advantages on paper, and then I'll give you my prediction on how I think the fight's going to go based on my film study, and at the end I'll give you my prediction on how who is going to win and how. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's get started here. We've put Valentina Shevchenko, champion, on the blue side, Manon Fiorot on the red side. Worth noting that, Shevchenko's been around for a long-ass time. We think, the best of her. She's been champion for a while. She had that trilogy against Alexa Grasso, but she's only 2 years older than Manon Fiorot. Fiorot, at the somewhat of a newcomer to the UFC, but again, only 2 years older. Fiorot's going to have a 2-inch reach advantage, but Shevchenko going to have a 1-inch, Fiorot's going to have a 2-inch height advantage. Shevchenko's going to have a 1-inch reach advantage. For Shevchenko, she's 13-3 in the UFC, 31% of wins coming from KO, 15% by submission. Most of the majority of her wins, 54% coming from decision. 3 losses, 2 of which come from decision and 1 by submission. That one was Alexa Grasso in round number 5, and we'll talk about that. Manon Fiorot has looked impressive, 7-0 in the UFC, 29% of her wins coming from KO, 71% of her wins coming from decision, and again, does not have any losses. So let's get into it. This is our detailed striking report. Here, we're going to first start with champion Valentina Shevchenko. She's going to be a distance striker at 71% of her strikes coming from a distance, 20% of her strikes coming from the ground, and 9% on the clinch. So she does work in some ground strikes. Keep an eye on that. In terms of the target breakdown, she does vary it up. 76% of her targets going towards the head, 10% towards the body, and 14% legs there. She can throw some leg kicks as well. Striking accuracy is pretty good at 46% head strike accuracy, 67% body strike accuracy, and 81% leg kick accuracy. In terms of her output actually gets better as the rounds go on. So on average, attempts or strikes thrown in round number 1 is 26, drops off to 22 in round number 2, but then spikes up to 28 in round number 3, 38 in round number 4, and 39 in round number 5. Strikes landed about 13 in rounds number 1 and 2, 15 in round 3, 20 in round 4, and then 18 in round number 5. Although her career has been very long, she only does have 1 knockdown. That's coming in round number 2. I believe that was Jessica I, because I remember that fight betting that fight going to the distance, and then her ending with a head kick there. So overall, yeah, we talked about some of the striking numbers. I want to highlight some of the things here. Mostly some of the leg kick numbers. Against Alexa Grasso, didn't throw a ton of leg kicks, 2 of 2 in that round number 3, or in that third fight there. Decent numbers in the earlier fight. In the first fight there, 7 of 8, 2 of 2. Against Talia Santos, did go to the leg kicks as well. 8 of 8 in round number 3 in leg kicks. So just to show you that she does go to leg kicks quite a bit as well. She has a decent kicking game. Striking accuracy, Let me talk about the ground strikes here. So there wasn't a lot of, well, let me take that back. Alexa Grasso, 1 strike thrown on the ground in round number 1, 3 in round number 3, 7 strikes against Grasso in the second fight, 5. Yeah, not a huge ground and pound girl, but she does mix in the strikes there. Jessica Andrade went 18 of 18 in strikes. Lauren Murphy, 18 of 22 in ground strikes. So she will work the ground strikes when she can get to that position. And I bring that up to note that for later. So. Again, does have that 1 knockdown. Let me just confirm. Yeah, it was Jessica I in round number 2 back in 2019. I believe that was a head kick knockdown. So defensive striking, pretty good. 74% of the strikes landed against going to be at a distance. 92% in the clinch, 7% on the ground. Target breakdown against varies as well. 62% head target against, 17% body target against, and 21% leg kick target against. Head strike defense, pretty elite at 21% head strike defense, considering how long her career is. Very good striking defense numbers for Shevchenko. 58% body strike defense and 63% leg kick defense. So all of them pretty good for those areas of target there. And you can see here average strikes absorbed by round. Very good numbers here as well. Only allows 10 strikes landed in round number 1, 8 strikes landed in rounds number 2 and 3, and then up to 12 in rounds number 3 and 4. So doesn't get a lot of damage against and throughout her lengthy career there. Won't go into too much detail here. She has been knocked down once. That was against Alexa Grasso. I thought it was more of a stumble, but she did land cleanly, credited with a knockdown there. So worth keeping that in mind. So Manon Fiorot, the French kickboxer, 90% of her strikes going to be at a distance. She is going to be mainly a distance striker. 7% on the clinch and only 3% on the ground. Doesn't really work in the ground too much. In terms of target breakdown, going to be mainly a headhunter at 83% head strike target, 11% to the body, and a 6% on the legs there. Head strike accuracy, not the greatest at 33% head strike accuracy, 76% body strike accuracy, and a 92% leg kick accuracy. And then strikes landed per round, pretty good output, honestly. 76 strikes thrown in round number 1, 67 in round number 2, 74 in round number 3, and then jumps up to 85 in round number 4, 86 in round number 5, and then strikes landed 29, 30, 28, 46, and 42. So definitely has a volume output on Manon Fiorot. Does have 1 knockdown coming in round number 2. I believe that was against Tabitha Ricci in round number 2 there. So yeah, keep that in mind. So not a ton of knockdowns for the French kickboxer. Defensively, pretty good there as well. Against 92% of the strikes landed against going to be at a distance, 7% on the clinch, and only 1% strikes landed against going to be on the ground. 76% of the strikes landed towards the head, 14 towards the body, 10% towards the leg. And then just like Shevchenko, she has a good striking defense at 21% head strike defense, which is pretty elite numbers, 57% body strike defense, and 77% leg kick defense. And then average strikes absorbed by round only averages about 18 strikes absorbed in round number 1, 14 in round number 2, 21 in round number 3, 37 in round number 4, and 27 in round number 5. So both girls doing a pretty good job at limiting the amount of damage that they are eating. I wanted to highlight some of these numbers here because some of these numbers here in terms of leg kick damage, right? She's faced a lot of leg kicks, and I believe that's because of the stance and the distance that she wants to maintain. She's normally standing outside in kicking range, so that's a lot of the times the only strikes that people can really land on her. So in total, she's seen 117 leg kicks, landed or absorbed 90 leg kicks. That's why I wanted to touch on some of those from Shevchenko, because Shevchenko does have a decent kicking game there as well, and we'll get to that in the breakdown coming up. Has not been knocked down in the UFC as well, so keep that in mind. But look at some of the strength of competition here. That last one, she went Erin Blanchfield. We have Rose Namajunas, Caitlin Chikagian, Jennifer Maia, Moira Buena Silva. So some decent names in there, right? And we'll talk about why that's relevant in a bit, but nothing on the level of Valentina Shevchenko. Let's go over to the grappling because I do think that the grappling could play a role in this fight. Mainly speaking, I think it's going to be on the Shevchenko side. You can see right away here average strike, average takedowns attempted from Shevchenko, 1.5 takedowns attempted in number one, landing 1.1 average takedowns in round one, lands about zero point 0.9 in rounds two and three, drops off into rounds four and five, only landing 0.5 and 0.6 takedowns offensively for Shevchenko. Overall, in her UFC career, she's attempted 89 takedowns. 57 of them have been successful. Against the last fight there, Alexa Grasso fight number 3, she was very heavy in the grappling there. Got Grasso down almost every single round. For 200 seconds of control, 237 in round number 2, 140 in round number 3, 236. So decent numbers. At least half of the round of control is on the Shevchenko side. That's going back to Grasso 2, the second time they fought, and the first time they fought, Shevchenko having a decent grappling advantage in that fight. And then even against Talia Santos being a very strong girl, very hard to take down, very hard in the clinch there. And then Shevchenko ended up getting 3 takedowns or 1 takedown against Talia Santos, 88 seconds of control, so not too bad there. Got one sub attempt there. And then before that, Lauren Murphy took down as well. Jessica Andrade taken down 7 times. So, she does have some decent wrestling and entries, and we'll talk about why that's important. Defensively, though, I don't know if Fiorot's going to grapple. I doubt it. It might be some counter grappling. But overall, in Shevchenko's career, let's see, she's seen 42 takedown attempts against. Only 12 of them have been successful. So decent takedown defense for Shevchenko, and I don't think it really comes into play. So we'll skip over that, and that's because Manon Fiorot, on average, she's attempted 19 takedowns, landed 8 of them. So not too bad there. Man, the one killing me, I'm looking at this, the Manon Fiorot, Erin Blanchfield fight. That one, I expected Erin Blanchfield to want to get the fight down to the ground, and then wasn't able to do it. Manon Fiorot actually winning the most takedowns. That would have paid off a huge payday if it would have been tied takedowns, and it wasn't because Manon got that early takedown, because she does counter grapple and times. You try to get on the legs on her, and then she'll reverse it, get the takedown in advance there. So keep an eye on that, and we'll talk about that in a second. Defensively is what's important here for me. On average, Fiorot has seen only 0.4 takedowns attempted against in round number 1, 0.9 takedowns attempted against in round number 2, and 1 takedown in rounds number 3 and 4. On average, only allowing 0.1 takedowns in round number 2. So elite takedown defense in terms of the numbers has seen 15 takedowns attempted against in the UFC, only allowed 1 takedown to Jennifer Maia for about 28 seconds of control. But I do want to highlight some of these numbers and who she's really fighting here, right? So again, she's going to be a kickboxer. She's going to be out at range. She's going to be light on her feet, right? So Erin Blanchfield, we were actually very big on Manon Fiorot in that fight. Manon Fiorot was like a plus 250 underdog. Everybody thought that Blanchfield would just get a hold of her, drag her down to the ground, and submit her because that's what she had done before. But Manon Fiorot being on the outside, she wasn't actually able to get that. Blanchfield actually wasn't even able to get a hold of Fiorot. So Blanchfield only attempted 3 takedowns in that fight. Really got pieced up on the feet, and then Fiorot cruised to a decision win. But that wasn't the first time Blanchfield really struggled for the takedown. She fought Talia Santos again, and I think she went 0 for 19 in takedowns or something ridiculous like that. So over those last 10 rounds, she wasn't able to get any takedowns. Erin Blanchfield being more of a BJJ girl than a wrestler. So she, again, Manon Fiorot being a big girl, pretty powerful, was able to keep the fight on the feet against Erin Blanchfield. Rose Namajunas, I believe, was coming up in weight class against that. Rose goes 0 for 6 in takedowns there. Caitlin Chikagian's not going to shoot a takedown and didn't. Jennifer Maia is not the greatest grappler either. Jennifer Maia got her down 1 on 4 attempts, and then really didn't see many other attempts. Tabitha Ricci attempted 1 takedown. Victoria Leonardo attempted 1. So these numbers seem to be a little bit inflated, most of that coming from Rose, some of that's coming from Erin. So don't be fooled by the elite takedown defense of Manon Fiorot. Let's move on to our fighting stats time breakdown. So we can see here of the tape that we taped, 53% of that fight was spent standing, 34% was it on the ground, 11% in the clinch. Shevchenko actually has a really good clinch game as well, pretty strong in the clinch, able to hold Talia Santos again, pretty big Talia Santos. Shevchenko was able to hold her on the fence. Talia Santos not able to pummel and circle her way off. When Shevchenko is on top there, 43% of the time she's in half guard, 25% of the time she's in full guard, 18% of the time she's in side control. I'll mention it here. She loves the mounted crucifix. If she can get to that position, she will, and then she'll rain down some ground and pound, and we'll talk about why that's important, because I do think that it could come into play in this one as well. On the Fiorot side, you can see here 91% of her tape is by standing. Again, she's going to be a kickboxer, so that makes sense. And then we really haven't seen any ground time from Fiorot, so that's somewhat of an unknown, and that will come into play in terms of the breakdown. Let's move over to our fighting stats striking tendencies here. So Shevchenko is going to be in the blue, 69% single strike rate. She does have a nice 1-2 at 13%. Works in a lot of kicks at 32%. Her striking tendencies, 31%. She's going to go to that single jab. She's going to go a 1-2 about 13% of the time. She goes for the 2 at 8% of the times, and then she works in her her kicks here. So lead low kick 8%, rear high kick 8%, rear low kick 5%, lead high kick 5%. So very diverse kicking. You can see that she doesn't really favor one over the other. All about 5 to 8% in terms of her kicks. Lead kicks, rear kicks, high kicks, low kicks. She'll do it all in terms of her kicking, right? In terms of Fiorot, they're a little bit skewed. I don't know if we have too much tape on her, but she does have a 93% single strike rate, so she likes to pop those single strikes. 43% of them coming from the single jab. 30% going to be from the left hook, and 11% going to be the right cross there. So all in all, that's to say, so on paper, in terms of the stats, it looks like on the feet it's going to be pretty close. Both girls have decent head strike defense. Manon Fiorot looks like she has a little bit more volume in terms of the strikes attempted. But again, Shevchenko's pretty good. Both girls have a decent chin in terms of having been knocked down. Don't really have a ton of power in their hands as well, having no real knockdown. So on paper, on striking, it looks pretty close. And then on the grappling, I think that's where the difference lays out. So this is how I think the fight is going to go. This is my fight prediction. So both girls are going to be, again, strikers. Shevchenko's going to be in southpaw. Fiorot's going to be in orthodox. But Shevchenko can switch between the two. Now, this is where it's going to become interesting. So Manon Fiorot, she's going to take the outside of the cage. She's going to circle along the outside. She's going to be light on her feet, bouncing. She likes to throw, again, or in terms of her hand, well, she's going to be light on her feet. She's bouncing in and out. She does a lot of left side kicks. So she that side karate kick, the Ryu kick sort of thing. She's sideways. She kicks you. She's trying to keep that range, trying to maintain that range, right? So she'll jump into the kick. And she'll try to keep range. That's really the only kick that she throws. She will throw some high kicks and such, where the main weapon is just that side kick. And I think it's more to keep distance, keep range, because that's where she wants the fight to be. She's not going to be standing in the pocket. She's not going to be trading blows. She's not going to be, dirty boxing or clinching you up. She wants the space. She wants to be on the outside, so she'll be doing that. A lot of the time she's fighting girls that will try to chase her down, don't really know how to cut off the cage, and that's where she really excels, is in that kicking range. So the difference is that Valentina Shevchenko, she sort of plays the waiting game and says, if you want to circle around the outside, go for it. Be my guest. And she will plant her feet. She will take the center of the cage and say, you come to me. So we're going to see a little bit of a staring contest, I think, in round number 1. Fiorot's going to be bouncing around the outside, popping in and out sort of thing. And then Shevchenko's going to plant her feet, take the center of the cage. Shevchenko is an elite counter striker. So I talked about that left side kick of Fiorot. That's what she likes to do. She sort of hop steps and then throws the left side kick. Her 1-2 entry is the same, where she hop steps, and instead of throwing the left kick, she'll throw a 1-2 and then pop back out. Or she'll jump in, throw a 1-2-1 and then pop back out. Her striking's not too crazy. She's not going to throw a ton of hooks, not a ton of uppercuts. It's going to be a lot of straight punches, 1-2, in and out. 1-2, in and out, side kicks. Really a lot of range striking, a lot of point fighting, kickboxing sort of thing, right? So imagine like a Cyril Gane on the outside, right? He has a lot of jabs, he has a lot of kicks. 1-2, he's out of there. He's not going to want to stand in the pocket and trade, right? Whereas Valentina Shevchenko, she's going to be that counter striker, right? So when Fiorot's going to be bouncing in and out, when she comes to jump in to throw the 1-2, I think that's when Shevchenko has the ability to throw like a 1-2-3, fast counters. I do sort of favor Shevchenko's speed on the counter, and because I think that it can be timed and you can see the entries coming because Fiorot really telegraphs her entries, right? She's not like changing stances or anything like that. She's going to hop, she's going to do a hop step, and then at that point, I think Shevchenko's going to unload counter strikes and land counter strikes there. But overall, both girls doing a really good job of not taking real much damage, right? And I don't think that Shevchenko is going to force the exchanges. I don't know if she's going to, try to close the distance, things like that. Shevchenko is like a black belt in Taekwondo. She trains over at Tiger Muay Thai. She has a kicking game as well, so it's not like French kickboxers elite and she's going to just dominate. Shevchenko has a decent kicking game. I talked about her repertoire of using both legs, high kicks, low kicks, things like that. I actually favor Shevchenko's kicking game over Fiorot. So I've seen them training where they just tried kicks. There's like a game where you touch kicks, you throw a kick, and then she counters you back sort of thing. So I can see a case where Shevchenko actually prefers to stay out at range as well, wins the kicking range as well. And then when Fiorot comes in, she's going to get countered with the hands. Shevchenko's going to find the counter there. So I think where where Fiorot is best out at range and kicking range and throwing kicks, Shevchenko can match her there as well. I think in the pocket, I think Shevchenko can match her on the feet, on the counters as well. The big thing for me is this grappling upside for Shevchenko. We saw it in the Alexa Grasso fight. Now I just want to backtrack on the Alexa Grasso's fight, right? She's fought Alexa Grasso 3 times. I was on Valentina Shevchenko all 3 times, and she dominated Alexa Grasso in that first fight until round number 4. She did those she kept on spinning, and then Alexa Grasso just jumps on the back, gets the backpack, puts in the rear naked choke, and wins. It was a fluke win, right? Shevchenko was winning the whole time. She got subbed out and then ended up losing. Okay, great. The second fight, I'm on Shevchenko again because, again, she dominated the first fight. She got lucky in terms of the submission. The second fight's going same thing. Shevchenko's dominating. She's working in the takedowns. She's getting the fight down to the ground. For some reason, they give Alexa Grasso a 10-8 in that round number 5, and it causes a draw. If she doesn't get a 10-8, Shevchenko wins that fight. So now they have to replay it again. And again, the third time they fought, I was on Shevchenko again because she's won almost 90% of the minutes against Grasso. And she finally gets the takedown. She doesn't do anything risky. No spin attacks. She gets the takedown one after the other. The timing on the entries were so clean. Grasso was coming in. Shevchenko level changes into the double leg, gets a takedown, and then rides top control. The reason I bring this up is because I talked about the entries of Fiorot, how she bumps, she jumps into the entries, tries her 1-2, she jumps into those side kicks, things like that. You're going to throw a side kick against Valentina Shevchenko, she's going to catch the kick, she's going to take you down. You're going to jump into a 1-2 against Shevchenko, she's going to level change on you so fast, she's going to put you down. We talked about how good on paper Manon Fiorot looks in terms of the takedown defense. That's because she was expecting the takedowns. She's circling the outside. She sort of gets that range, so she's moving backwards already, so it's even that much harder to shoot in on her. Because Shevchenko is going to play this waiting game and she's going to force Fiorot to come in and attack her, that makes the takedown so much easier. To have Manon Fiorot come forward where Shevchenko can level change, get on the takedown, and get her down to the back. We haven't seen Fiorot off of her back. She's a French kickboxer. It's safe to assume that she's not going to be I don't know. She can be good. She's not going to be as good as Shevchenko on the ground. Shevchenko's controlled bigger girls. She's submitted, worked the wrestling on bigger girls, better girls. I'm going to say Shevchenko has a huge grappling advantage, and I think if she gets down to the ground, I think that she can wear on her on the ground there. And then Fiorot, we haven't really seen her flat off her back. I'm going to assume that she doesn't have, triangles off her back or, sweeps, things like that. So it might be a case where it's one takedown into the round for Shevchenko. She does a really good job of control. She's not going to, lose control because of, strikes and things like that. She's not going to drop off for an armbar. Shevchenko is going to control the position. She's going to pass guard. She might get to mount. She likes to stay in side control where she can look for this mounted crucifix. So I think that's where Shevchenko can score points. Again, on the feet, it's going to be 50-50. It's going to be close. I don't think either girl is going to have big moments. It's going to be very close. The striking exchange is going to be close. So if it plays out on the feet for 25 minutes, it probably gets to a point where like I don't know what's going to happen, and each round is very close, and I don't know how to score them. The difference is those takedowns. When Shevchenko does land a takedown, it's really what I think is going to secure those rounds. So for me, Shevchenko only needs 3 takedowns to win this fight. Manon Fiorot doesn't really have the power in her hands to put Shevchenko out. Again, for Fiorot to win by finish, first it's going to have to be some sort of volume TKO where she just has her up on the fence and she's just pounding her. Could be like a standing TKO sort of thing. I don't think Fiorot is going to get any submissions on Shevchenko. So I think it's going to be, again, same thing in the Bilal fight where Manon Fiorot has to win a decision here. Whereas Shevchenko, I think that if she can get the back, she can find a submission. I think she can work in ground and pound on the ground. On the feet, it's unlikely, but maybe a head kick sort of finish there. And then she's going to win minutes from the takedowns there. So I see Valentina Shevchenko having all the upside in this fight. I think Fiorot, she does have to fight a perfect fight of 25 minutes on the outside, light on her feet. Where is she really going to separate? She's going to land these kicks, side kicks, 1-2, haha, 1-2, haha. Like, she's not going to look minus 400, whereas I think Shevchenko has all the minus 500 upside. I wanted to highlight some of this when you go back to watch Shevchenko and you look at the odds, right? So early in the let's start with the Alexa Grasso. So in that third Alexa Grasso fight, Shevchenko was a plus 105 underdog. In fight number 2, because she had lost the first 2 fights, remember? In fight number 2 against Grasso, she was the minus 170 favorite because, again, she won fight number 1, she just lost at the end. So she was still a favorite, minus 170 against Grasso. The very first fight against Alexa Grasso, do you want to take a guess what the odds were for Shevchenko to beat Alexa Grasso? Minus 870 for Valentina. She was expected to dominate. She did dominate. Alexa Grasso gets that that fluke finish. Before Grasso, she was minus 525 against Talia Santos, minus 1275 against Lauren Murphy, minus 440 against Andrade, 1400 against Maya, 840 against Caitlin Chikagian, minus 1000 against Carmouche, 1000 against Jessica Ai. There has been no fight other than the last fight against Alexa Grasso where she was plus 105. And now she's coming into this fight against Manon Fiorot, who's been pretty much untested, I want to say. And we're giving Valentina the dog odds. She's currently the champion, and we're saying Manon Fiorot is the favorite to beat her. So I think there's a lot of recency bias built into this line. I think a lot of people see the Erin Blanchfield fight and see, oh, Erin Blanchfield wasn't able to get the fight down to the ground. Oh, on paper, Fiorot has a 10% takedown defense or 95% takedown defense or whatever it is. So Shevchenko, she's going to have the edge on the feet. I don't see it that way. The numbers are a little bit off because of those skewed stats. I think Shevchenko has all of the upside here. I think we're getting a gift line here for Shevchenko. If this was minus 500, I'm not touching it at all, but it's minus. We're getting dog money, and I thought that dog money would evaporate. I played it a little bit earlier at plus 105. I played it the other day at plus 110. I'm curious to see where this line goes, and I'm interested to see some of these props because I do have an idea of how the fight's going to go. I have a pretty confident idea of how the fight's going to play out, and who's going to actually end up winning. So we'll see. We'll never know, right? But I feel like I've done my research. I know these fighters pretty well. I know how the fight should go. Again, I'll be in attendance there, so I'll be cheering my ass off either way. But yeah, if you like this type of content, I know I go into a lot of detail, but that's the type of tape study that I do. A lot of tape study, a lot of film study. We're crushing it in terms of our bets since 2023. So maybe it's luck, or maybe I just have all of the details and I look at all of the things and I cap fights differently. So pay us a visit here. You can visit us at patreon.com/FightingStats. That's where we post all of our bets, our plays, our shoot for the moon parlays. We've hit back-to-back shoot for the moon parlays. Last week was for $100 turned into $6,000. The week before that, we turned $100 into $5,000. So 2 back-to-back weeks, we've hit those long shots. We're on absolute fire. Check us out, patreon.com/FightingStats. Also, go to our website, FightingStats.com. We have a chatbot out there that will tell you all of the stats that you want to know. How many head strikes did John Jones land against Chael Sonnen? Try to find that out. No, go to FightingStats.com. Check out our chatbot. They'll tell you in just under a minute if you type in those words there. So As always, let me know in the comments below how we're doing if you like this type of content. My name is Art C, and this is Fighting Stats. Thank you for watching.
All right, guys. Well, that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this sort of content, make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe. You'll get notified anytime we put out new content. And remember, here at Fighting Stats, I lead a team of expert data scientists. We are working around the clock to produce these exclusive UFC stats, not available anywhere else. We do our tape study. We pair them with our stats. We put out our best bets. We put our best bets to patreon.com/fightingstats. That's where we put all our analysis, all of our stats. Join patreon.com/fightingstats to get exclusive access. Recently, we just hit $82,000. Yes, that's right. $82,000 parlay on one fight. We used our fighting stats to get there, and we won a massive payday. Our Patreon members had exclusive access to that, so they shared in the profits there. So don't miss out. Make sure you subscribe today. Again, my name is Art C. This is Fighting Stats. Thanks for watching.